well, the Evan.
Evan? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Artist guest of honor, including designed them.
So, I don't know about Galaxy, but Kendrick's, their request was 5 business days.
Yeah.
So 5 business days to print the badges.
Yeah.
They've got all the software, so for all intents and purposes, we give them a list, a spreadsheet with a bunch of columns,
Yep.
and they just go print, and it generates everything automatically.
Yeah.
I don't know about Galaxy, but I assume Galaxy is just as up to date as they are. But Kendrick's has basically said, push comes to shove, 3 business days, they could do it, but they don't guarantee that. But 5 business days, they will guarantee turnaround.
Yeah, that's fair. The reason I went with Galaxy was it was recommended that their prices were as competitive, if not more competitive, than Kendall's and Kendrick's. And with the past year being slow as well as this year being a little slow, it may be beneficial to the budget to investigate that.
And just a suggestion, and I've done this before and been, oh, don't worry about it. When lawyers and whoever does the badge, print off one and put it in a holder and look at it.
Yeah.
Because I've had, oh, this is going to be perfect, put it in the holder and go, oh, God.
Yeah, because people keep on forgetting, and we've had this issue before, and we'll have again, is you have to basically make sure that the badge has clear spaces for their registration number and clear spaces for
And like,
their names, and if you want to throw things like pronouns, and if you want to throw things in like age, in terms of are you legal or not.
Yeah, it's basically a border art rather than
yeah, because you want, I need to have rooms, right, Saturday only, or Saturday evening.
Yes.
Or,
You've got to make sure that it's not just in the little plastic thing we give out, that it fits in like the black ones that we sell.
those are bigger.
Then we should probably
Those are
set up
plastic.
a meeting
Okay.
with whoever it is that we work with at Galaxy.
Yeah.
And
So that they
Good,
can.
yeah, if Lori or somebody, they all
Lori's
have,
publication.
Yep.
So
she can print it off,
yeah.
print off one and
They
just
would-
look at it.
They would definitely know the size.
And when I've submitted directly to Kendrick's, I usually do things like, I make sure that the number on the badge matches up with the receipt number.
Yep.
But I've had issues where, previous con-chairs have basically said, no, give us the list, and then they give them the list and they don't give them numbers, so they just do sequential.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like,
that was
okay,
fun, yeah.
then you have to cross-reference a sequential number with the receipt number, especially when you end up with 3 people called Todd.
Yeah.
It used to be Dave, but now it's Todd.
Yeah,
But just a subtle hint, because I've had that happen.
yeah, and it's like, hi, we gave Todd the wrong, we gave,
The wrong Todd, the wrong number.
yeah, so
Wrong
that,
thing.
so that the number on the badge does not match up with the thing. And then, of course, so just a question, so we do have an artist alley.
Yeah.
Are we having anything like an artist's auction or anything?
Well, we're having, rather than the art auction being done the way it was done in the past, where they donate the pieces and it's like the art gallery style auction, it's just going to be basically a auction event that's an art auction.
Yeah.
And so then artists or marketplace vendors can donate pieces to the charity auction if they decide to.
Yeah, in that case, what usually happens is your badge becomes your
Your number.
your
Your
bid
badge
number.
number becomes your number.
Yeah.
So if that badge is going to serve all of these purposes, your pronouns and your age and your identity,
Yeah.
that has to be factored in with the design and the information submitted to the printer.
Yeah. And so some of the stuff we are looking at is those identifiers, like if it even is just like a colored dot on the badge for child versus adult. So it's very clear, very identifiable. So we are looking at some of those factors still. They're just waiting for that publication meeting before.
Like I said, those are the kinds of things that come up every year.
Yeah.
Usually not bad, but sometimes, well, it wasn't as bad as that year that they didn't put the names on it.
Oh, yeah, you gotta spend hours.
We had to
handwriting. I
handwrite,
remember that.
we had to handwrite 200 badges.
It's a choice to be made as to whether or not you do different designs for all the different stuff, or whether you just do. There's one badge, put the important information on, and when it comes to the child versus alcohol thing, leave that for the people serving alcohol to worry about, because otherwise we just don't care.
Yeah. Some of the considerations are like maybe full color for weekend pass, black and white for the day passes, and then different colored dots for, as I said, either the different age groups or the different colored dots could be the 3 days,
Or
Saturday,
just,
Sunday.
or just put Saturday.
Right.
Just put SAT.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
We spend so much time worrying about this shit. One badge, put the important words on it, that's it.
yeah.
Like, and it creates issues because we're sending all these different things to the printers. Now, they're fairly automated,
Well, I
but
was just saying like the little sticker dots.
Well, no, the big thing is that if you, for the prepaid full memberships, those are easy.
yeah,
Because we know exactly who they are. But then if we have to do preprints for full Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the varied permutations,
Yeah,
then what happens is we basically go, let's print 50 of those and 50 of those and 50 of those, and which means we end up wasting them because we always end up printing more.
yeah.
And the truth is, on Sunday, nobody cares what badge you have on Sunday. So
As long as
Sunday
you're-
always gets a full, if somebody wants Sunday only, they get a full
Weekend
weekend
is
badge
actual,
because
yeah.
it's not like they're coming back in time.
That's very fair.
So, yeah, let's have
Keep it simple.
a meeting in April
Yep.
to solidify the badge issues, and that's it, like, simple.
Yep,
And we've already spent way too much time on badges.
that's very fair.
Let's move on.
Oh, well, it's a,
Albert's done.
no, it's a Windsor thing. For the plastic badge holders, I think we need more, but that's a Windsor thing.
It's actually been mentioned to the treasurer already. She said to come see her closer to April. So,
That's what I mean.
yeah,
Well, yeah, and honestly, thankfully, those things are always in stock.
yeah.
So we usually pull yes,
Just
we usually.
bring it to time.
Yeah, they close at 5:30, right?
6, we're done, aren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's what's.
we pull, usually when we pull everything out of storage, that's when we find out just how many we have.
We actually counted them there in the inventory.
Do you know how many you have?
Off the top of my head, I don't memorize
Okay.
inventory.
Okay.
So I realized now I actually have volunteers on here twice. The second time was just to talk, seeking loading loadout crew for Keycon Light, seeking crew for postering, you've already mentioned, and then seeking a group for if we wanted to do any blind date with the book bags at Keycon Light as well as Keycon, then we'll need some people to help package those up and just list it. So similar to when they did blind date with the book, where you have the book wrapped in paper and you write some notes like, it's a fantasy romance novel on the paper, and then people buy the book and take a chance whether they're gonna like the author based on the descriptors. I have my mother's book collection still, which is 5 bins worth of books
I have,
that have not moved out of my house, and she passed away 9 years ago. So I'm donating all of those to Keycon, or just filling like the little lunch bag size reusable bags, and just someone pays $10 to get a whole bag of books. And we're just having this separated by either theme or author or something like that, and they get a couple buzzwords on the outside, and they get the whole bag of books.
I can probably help advise with that, because I'm not really moving during the day right now.
There's also books in the storage room too that add to
There
that.
is some, yeah.
I can help with that too.
And I can definitely help them load out for work, for key content.
Yep.
But I don't think I can help set up ahead of time, because I have stuff going on already.
I haven't heard back from the hall yet on whether or not we are allowed to load in the night before, or if it's just morning of. If I happen to hear back, I will send that out to, on our KeyCom page.
I have volunteers that are ready to be asked, but they need to know the details, whether they can say yes or no.
Yeah,
That's totally
thank
fair.
you.
So yeah, that's the next 3 sets of volunteers that we're working on. I do have a full list of other positions for KeyCom proper that we are looking into, such as load-in, load-out crew, set of area crews. One thing I'm planning on trying to do for this year, and see if it works, because of course, you know, trial and error with past years of KeyCon stuff, is I'm taking some of my experience with banquet serving and stuff, and I'm hoping to do area prep lists. So what does all hospitality need moved up there upon loading? What does, you know, the main stage room need loaded in for that area? What does, you know, our pinball room or our game room need? And I'll make specific area load-in lists for inventory, so that way they can, whichever crew is assigned to that area can take the list to operations, who will be like overseeing the load-in, and go, this is my inventory list, this is what I need from you. They take that amount that operations gives them, they go off to their area and set it up. The next crew does the same, and so we have designated a list of what went where and how. And so theoretically, that will offer a good structure, so it's not just everybody's running every which way, and we're not sure, hey, just grab some of the con kids, throw them in here because we need more hands. It'll be, this team's working in this area to set this up. Once they're finished, they can come help the other areas, ideally. So I hope to have those documents ready probably by like mid-April, so that way they can be reviewed and we can see if any department or area of the convention feels that they're missing some of their supplies that they would require.
And with that, if there's any transportation problems, like bringing stuff,
Yeah.
I have an available truck and trailer.
Okay. Usually we get a U-Haul and then just have people meet us at the storage locker and then
Yeah.
meet us again at the convention, so.
Can we set that up early? So
Yeah.
that it's not a last minute thing?
Well, that's the intent. That's always the intent.
Well, for KeyCon proper, will it be loading things up on Thursday or the Friday, or early Friday?
Usually it's the Thursday. Usually we do, like mid-Thursday when we get the locker loaded for Thursday night. And so, if anyone needs the extra room on the Thursday, even though they booked for 3 hotel rooms, just totally let me know. I'll let Alex know that you need the Thursday if you stay the extra night or whatever.
I don't remember me staying at the hotel personally.
That's fair. But yeah, usually
Spoke to somebody.
Usually the biggest items at the very least are Thursday night, and then stuff like the marketplace and stuff will be the Friday morning. But we try and get the tables in place the night before if we can. Department requests or POIs, so these are ones that were mentioned on Monday. So confirmation of space allotments, I do have the floor plan listed available. The main changes is, again, registration will not be in that little closet to my knowledge. You'll be in the nice bigger room next door. So you'll have theoretically a whole room to spread out as you will. And it is a supply room, but theoretically it's gonna be empty for us and
Yeah.
we'll have the room, so.
Space to move, what?
Yeah, there is basically a storage room that wasn't used last year,
Yes.
that they're like, oh yeah, we can move the tables out since that room had the coat rack and stuff in it, which was really tricky to work around. So theoretically, that's gonna change,
We'll see.
and then, marketplace, because we're having the artist alley back, we did give them one of the extra center rooms from, there's ABCD in that one section where like the main programming and stuff was. We are giving them one of those smaller spaces as well to add to the previous room, so.
Gaming is in the same room as last year then?
Gaming should be in the same room.
I'm assuming that the pins, et cetera, will be sold at Reg.
Hmm?
stickers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, we're thinking
will
having like
be
basically
sold at Edge.
the registration table and then the merchandise table next to it. This we
So,
don't take from
yes.
you guys.
Buy a pen, we'll give you a t-shirt.
Yeah. I mean, we do have the Toby token packages, so. Toby token package, you get your membership, you get the breakfast for both days, and then you get any merch we release anytime. So even if we decide to throw in buttons last minute, you get a button.
Write that all down, so,
Yeah,
If it helps,
Yeah.
it is on the website, so.
you know, no, but I mean,
No, but we
for
need to know
registration,
where-
you know,
where that's-
Friday
yeah,
night, we
yeah.
tend to go brain dead.
Yeah, no, that's great. Publication books meeting requested, as I mentioned, we are planning to have a meeting with
I'm
publications.
sorry, I can't hear you and you're going very fast for me.
Sorry.
I think.
I just noticed we have about 10 minutes, so,
I
sorry.
thought we had until 6.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
we
yeah,
have
it's only
4 to
5:30, never mind. Sorry.
Sorry.
Publication books being requested, so, as mentioned, we are planning to have a publication meeting with Lori to start setting up the structure for the programming book. The pocket programs will be similar to some of the ones in past years where, rather than just a few pages, it will still have like a one-line description of the various panels. It'll have the floor plan, and then the 3 grids, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But it won't have too much beyond that. I did say that we might have merchandise where the marketplace rather, and Artist Alley will have the name of their business and maybe a one-line description, but not too much in that, so like no advertisements or anything, to keep it still small and compact. So the souvenir book will be where all the majority of that extra information is gonna go. But we still need to start laying out the format for those things. Outreach to Tanya Huff. As we mentioned, she has a book coming out in April, so we are looking for a cross promo for a new book. Possibly if she's wanting to do any programming or an autograph session at McNally with cross promotion, that kind of thing. In progress operations and volunteer list. This is where we are planning to do that list of who's volunteered, who's currently volunteering, all that kind of thing.
Are we doing the same thing for Jim Butcher?
Yes, we were planning to, yes.
Jim Butcher, by the way, posted, I think, 2 weeks ago, he posted that his next book, 12 months,
Yep.
has gone to the publisher.
Woo.
That does not mean anything other than it's gone to the publisher. The publisher will decide when.
To release it, yeah.
To release it.
Okay. KeyCon is absolutely gonna wanna promote Jim Butcher to the fullest of extent.
Yep.
Nope.
I advise against setting up Jim Butcher with McNally unless you're gonna be able to do it Thursday night or after the conventions are ended. KeyCon is paying for Jim Butcher to be at KeyCon.
Yeah,
Tanya Huff is paying her own way to Winnipeg.
yeah.
The difference.
The thing with Jim Butcher as well is if we were to do it at all, it would basically, we'd be inviting, either inviting McNally to the convention, or it would be after closing ceremonies, like on the Sunday, we would have to leave the convention for a short period to go to McNally and do a book signing and then come back for Dead Dog. Because unfortunately, just due to childcare, they were not able to go more than the Friday to the Sunday, essentially Monday morning. So,
And McNally,
so the offer
McNally
has
is not
been
gonna be open
considered and
after
put forward
hours.
there,
They close at
but,
6 o'clock on Sunday. They're
Yeah.
not gonna be open after hours.
yeah, it would basically be,
The only thing we can do is to get
Book
them
as
to
an
open,
event,
to bring it,
essentially.
to do a table at the convention, which they haven't done in a long time.
yeah,
We should do another push on, social media of who our guests are, just to remind people, hey, Jim Butcher is set to come.
Also, we've got nice posters there, and if you wanna do something different, instead of featuring Toby, just do a big thing with Jim Butcher, especially if you're gonna get something in bookstores, look who's coming to KeyCon.
Yeah.
yeah.
We should, yeah, put McNally on the list of places to put posters.
Yeah.
And customize one for them.
But yeah, point is, the
I can
offer
definitely
is
do that.
there, but
I'll do
just due to the time constraints, it is uncertain whether something will be able to be
We'll,
done. So-
we'll take advantage of McNally from the point of view of McNally can put out a little Jim Butcher display
Yeah.
and have a poster that says, by the way, he is here in town.
And this is where he'll be.
Do you
Yes.
want to,
Yes. Repeat.
For Jennifer Blackstreet,
yeah,
yeah.
see if we can have, as the
Chris
display
as
for
well.
both, but yeah, mainly like on one side Jim Butcher and the other side,
Yeah.
Jennifer.
Because again, she is a award-winning author as well.
Yeah.
In her own right, so. And then the request for follow-up regarding merch vendors and quotes, we are planning to meet with Manya fairly shortly to start discussing those things.
The t-shirt marked up already.
We had a low-res version, I was making you a nicer one.
Oh.
I was working on it this morning before the meeting. I have 3 out of 4 versions of it done. I arrived at 3:59, so. Working steps for, work in progress for next steps, promotions and marketing. So like we mentioned, more outreach needed and being worked on. Programming is great, is very, very, very liquidy. We'd like to try and start solidifying that. Merchandise, the mock-ups in the meeting. Hospitality room. We've been having a lot of people come forward saying they're intending to run rooms. Quite a few of them have been confirmed. I need to make sure with Alex that that list is getting solidified and that we are starting to take the deposits.
Is there how many?
Did she say it was 6? Or, I
Not bad.
think it's 6 or 8, so. And that's just the ones that were like confirmed to her directly.
I know you still have to sit down with programming. I just wanted to toss out 2 things
Yep.
from last year that I hope we can improve on this year. Slots should be full,
Yep.
especially on the main floor, especially during what you want to consider your peak hours.
Yep.
There's no excuse to have an empty room at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the main floor.
Yep.
And better navigation too, so you can use it around rooms and the upper floors.
Yeah, it does help. Basically, any art panels that are not being used by our marketplace artist alley are going to be used basically as standing spots for posters and for documentation. And so we're gonna have probably 2 or 3 in a trifold set up on each floor to show, programming that way, and maybe have a list of what programming is available each day on that floor.
The other thing is where you can, especially with your guests of honor, panel means more than 1 person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a lecture. So you've got lots of local authors that I'm sure would love to jump at the chance of being on a panel with
Yeah.
a highly regarded professional author.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we had, the other notes we did have were, a little bit greater variety, because we had a lot of world building, but there's a couple comments that wasn't as many roundtables or science, panels from last year. So Wolfgang has said he will be willing to do a science panel or 2 if we ask him to. As well as we are planning to have more option for roundtables and other open discussions if people would like, so.
Yeah, suggest with, when he talks about panels and people showing up, that you have somebody that's assigned to remind people, because twice there was a confusion with the guests last year about when they.
Yeah. Well, that will generally be their guest liaisons. We have a couple of the guest liaisons slotted in. We are just deciding on the final ones. One of the thoughts slash mentions that have come up is, who can we slot with Jim Butcher who's not going to fangirl?
Don't put Joey.
Because yeah, we want someone
That would
that.
probably be me, because I've never read any of his
Yeah.
books.
We're going to be busy already.
So he does, by the way, have 3 different book series?
Yeah. But, yeah, so it's just
So
deciding.
go on, Linda.
Just deciding essentially.
The other
who we
Linda.
feel,
Yeah, I didn't know who he
can
was
be,
before,
you
so
know,
I'm good.
comfortable with the guest, not be too nervous, to say it that way, is not be too nervous working with the guest and approaching them for concerns or to remind them, hey, you know, you have to go to this panel, I'm sorry, man, I have to pull you from this conversation. Who can do that without getting nervous, you know? But we do have a few of the guest of honor liaisons already slotted in to help with those kind of things. Okay, so that's that.
Do we have a green room area for our guests, or is that just not, is that not something that
We've never-
Keystone has done?
Never needed to ask.
Usually it's their
Oh,
hotel
yeah,
suite
the-
or the ops rooms.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, worst comes to worst, we probably, as much as I'd love to say we will fill every room on the 3rd floor, we may not fill every room on the 3rd floor. So we could always pick a room on the quieter side of the hallway and have that open to them if they need to.
Okay.
We have less need for a green room when they have their own hotel suite.
Exactly.
Okay. See how I know how Keystone works?
All right. It's a good thought, and we do have, we usually do have a volunteer suite, and in theory that can be used.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not sure.
And that volunteer suite was usually ops.
It doubles as optional.
Yeah.
Some days.
Yeah. Like you said, if we don't fill up the 3rd floor, I'm sure there'll be a room or two we can stick stuff in, so. But aside from next meetings, that was all of that I had listed on the agenda, aside from individual department reports. If any of our 5 departments had anything they wish to report on, last meetings.
Do we have any idea when we are going to have the sit-down with Lori?
Not just yet, I don't.
They have a tendency to ignore my messages, so.
The which?
And will it be in person or virtual because their health is more?
We'll have to do it virtually, seems to be better.
Better for them.
For Lori.
I mean, I'm hoping for in the next 2 weeks,
Yeah.
2.5 at most, because I don't want to push this back too much further.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'll let you reach out to them because, yeah, I'm
Getting frustrated about 1,000?
trying to get them to, make the poster for Pecan Light was interesting.
I will basically just say that that is why, a couple times throughout the agenda here, you'll notice that absent communication or like the super thread and doodle poll and stuff like that has come up. Because we have found one of the difficulties, particularly as being new contrary, was navigating the communication difficulties that we've been having bouncing between I think I have 12 or 14 different Facebook Messenger groups right now that I'm chatting in for different KeyCon things, or stuff like I get busy with doing the physical stuff with KeyCon and I let the organizational stuff slide for a week and then I have to catch it up. Certain aspects like that have created some communication difficulties that we still are admittedly working on, and we appreciate all of Gary's patience with us while we work those up, so.
What about, I noticed that on a lot of the KeyCon Facebook posts, a common theme I've been noticing for comments is that people have messaged you guys, messaged the website, the KeyCon email about various things. They don't seem to get
Response back.
I don't know what's happening with our econ. We've tried to get that worked on, and
Half the
It
emails end up in my spam folder.
Yeah, and so.
Because, for whatever reason, keycon.org, winspa.org are not, the greater internet web email environment has a way of saying these are very trustworthy and these are not trustworthy sites. We seem to be in a gray zone where we're not considered trustworthy, but we're also not considered not trustworthy. And it's up to the email provider you use. They decide whether or not to trust emails from winsfa.org or keycon.org.
Yeah. Well, and another thing that Kenny talked about is, I think you mentioned that the email I sent to you didn't come in until hours later, for the one I had sent you. And then Sean said for his Monday ComCom email didn't come at all.
Yeah.
So some of them are just also, unfortunately, despite I have record on my devices saying that I did send these emails, unfortunately they're getting delayed or they're getting missed for days at a time, even unfortunately sometimes.
Okay, but if they're going to spam, and we know they're going to spam, then it should be on us to check our spam folders.
Yes, but they don't all go to spam because
Some of them just have
some
Very depends on the
some
provider.
providers will just drop it
Yeah.
as bad. And other ones they'll put into your spam folder so you can decide.
Yeah.
Okay,
And when I was communicating with volunteers, sometimes they get it and sometimes they don't.
Yeah. And then sometimes, as in this case, it disappears for 4 hours.
Well, no, that's my income. I get in trouble with
okay.
everyone's, no.
Fair enough.
And
But it's happened to other people in the same way, so.
okay, but we can still do what we can, and
Well,
for the remainder of the year, for future years, it wouldn't be a bad idea to articulate an expectation as far as how often
Yeah.
department heads should be checking their email, if it's once a day, once every 2 days, something reasonable so that you'll be more communicative, and that should cut down on
On
issues
those
of
issues,
lack
yeah.
of communication.
Is there a way of like mitigating it from the start? Like making it so that the email is.
Vince was talking about switching how we do our emails, but it won't take place until next year at the earliest, so. Which is an unfortunate factor, but.
like I know
unless
from-
we start up like a email chain through like Gmail or what is it, Yahoo, that does like groups.
Yeah, I have considered, and in the worst case scenarios, have used my personal Gmail, but I like it to come from the .org when I'm reaching out to
Yeah.
organizations and stuff, to have that official presence, so.
like, I know from experience dealing with corporate email,
Yeah,
90% of the emails are actually spam. And we're not talking about, hi, can you buy something? We are talking about totally permeated with malware links and everything.
yeah,
And the system that we are paying for where I work, 90% of the email traffic that comes in is just binned.
yeah.
We don't even see it as a spam. It just gets wiped out. Why? Because it's scored better than 90% on the bad list, and we just dump them. And we actually had real vendors end up on that list. And it was like, why? You forgot to sign your emails, like email to email server.
Yeah.
There's signatures that they can do to say, authentication processes they can use to say, hey, I'm a reliable source, and they don't use that service.
Yep.
And it's like, hi, most vendors, their emails are all about selling stuff. Well, guess what? Spam is all about selling stuff.
Yeah, and so that is the other thing is switching to something like Gmail. We have to investigate whether that's going to hurt us organization-wise, so.
Well, that's something that we have to talk to Nathan about, because isn't
Well,
it?
again,
Nathan and I have been working on it,
Oh,
and
okay.
we have to come back to it, and
That's for next year.
this year, next year, 20 years from now, we're working on it, and there's some thoughts, but it's gonna take some experimentation still also.
And because the bad actors move very quickly, everybody is always behind on dealing with the latest way of stopping them. So it's always a moving target. So whatever we fix this year may have to be fixed again next year.
Yeah. But that's why, honestly, we're trying to get certain structures in place, so that even if the communication does falter or stuff like that, you'll have hopefully those structures to rely on for future years. Because yeah, it's definitely been one of the biggest.
The thing is, we have lots of ways to communicate with everybody, so we have to do better ourselves to make sure that communication is out there.
Yeah. And up to date and correlated is the big thing, and that's where I again, I apologize for letting the super thing slide a little bit, is correlate, not correlate, coalesce, I think.
Get together.
Get it together, yeah.
Coordinate, okay.
Get all the information together
Yeah.
into that
Coordinate.
spot, so that way, if even our communication is faltering, they can still check that spot for the up-to-date information.
And let everyone know though that it doesn't work on Android, because I've been trying to get it to work on my phone since you mentioned it and didn't know that I could. Like, I just got frustrated and,
Yeah, she sent me the report, and then,
Right, well,
yeah, it doesn't work on
once we
Android.
closed it, it disappeared,
Yeah,
so I couldn't even find it after.
Yeah.
so in other
As I
words,
said,
we
I put
need
in
a
the
better
report,
way
but-
to communicate where it's more reliable for everyone, not just.
Not just
Yeah.
Apple users.
yeah, because I won't do it as much if I can't do it on my phone.
Yeah, see, I do it on the Android via the web, but it is more finicky on the phone compared to on the computer, so.
Oh, figure out something.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just less restrictive than the Trello app was for what our needs were. Because with the Trello app, you can only have a maximum of 10 people before paying for the premium version. We had 14 people that were on ComCom that needed access, so. At least if everyone was using it at the
Yeah.
same time.
Well, that's why I like Discord, because you can have
Yeah.
set areas of, for the communication for different departments.
Yeah.
Okay. I whip through social media here. First thing, and for people listening on in the Ethernet out there, share, please. That's the best possible thing you can do.
Yep.
If there's one thing you can do, and you've got Facebook, you've got whatever, share what you see come through. Make sure you are following the group. Make sure you're following the page. And when you see these things come through, when I post onto the Facebook group that, hey, this is something needs a boost, please go and give it some grassroots boost. So that's one thing. Where we are. There's Linktree that's got everything listed on it.
Yep.
So inside of Linktree, we've got TikTok, which we started up immediately before the U.S. Temporary ban came in. We have Blue Sky, Facebook, Threads, and Instagram.
Yep. We actually do have a Reddit, though it's kind of dead right now. We do have a Pinterest.
Pinterest, it's quiet.
Yeah.
Pinterest, Tumblr, those
We do
things
have
those things have all let go quiet here.
Our YouTube.
YouTube, Substack, you're going to get the most important things are going to come through there. They will come directly to your email, and they tend not to go into your spam folder. I've already mentioned my nag about we need to have good signage at the event around photos and videos happening, because I will be wandering around and doing, because we have the ability now, more video going on to Facebook and probably YouTube and maybe Instagram and maybe TikTok if I can get something working here for that. Right now we're simulcasting to both Facebook and TikTok. Not TikTok, Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll worry about the rest of that verse later. But if you're on any one of those other platforms that I mentioned and you see something come up, please do give us the grassroots support. That's all.
You can comment along with the share, just so that
Yes,
Yeah.
Facebook tries to recognize, I don't know the algorithm, but just so that it recognizes
interact
it.
if you
New
can.
post, maybe.
Tell us how you like it.
Share, like,
Yeah.
comment.
And subscribe. Sorry.
Share, like, subscribe, click all the things.
Or you can give us a bunch of money and we can advertise more traditional ways.
Small unmarked bills, not substantial.
I'll take coinage. Coinage will do.
I have a buy me a coffee. But is there anything else?
Just the next meeting, so the next general meeting will probably be by doable poll, so keep an eye for that. Because I tend to have the more open schedule, I think right now out of the two of us, that's why it tends to be, these are the ones that I'm free, please pick one.
We'll try to coordinate with our social media rep so that they can post that up so that we get more votes.
Like I said, this last one wasn't too bad, 'cause it was 10 out of, I think, 14 people on the Facebook group. But there was the first few where we had like 5 or 6, so if you guys can all make sure you go on there and vote along.
The more it shows up though,
Yeah.
and again, so.
Yep. And then we'll have for department-specific meetings. Did not get actually listed from previous minutes, so I do apologize for that. It'll be on the past minutes is the actual one. So volunteers, merchandise, programming, and promotions are first 3 main ones that we are handling. And then publications should be on there as well. So we have 4 different department-specific meetings that we are intending to have for the next couple of weeks.
I'm sorry, did you say there were meeting dates for those things?
No,
No
not yet.
meeting dates, just the specific meetings planned. So we are reaching out, we are intending to have those.
Questions, comments? Nothing?
What podcast did you say you were, that you do?
I do, yeah, I have just a it's called Geeky Discoveries.
Is it on?
It's, yeah, Spotify, I have to update it.
Post it on Facebook.
YouTube, Facebook,
Yeah, post it on Facebook, and who knows, maybe we can get you to do a live one from Keycon Light.
yeah, that is that actually couldn't be a bad idea. I have to set up StreamYard on my phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a couple on my channel as well. So I do Twitch and YouTube, so. Mine's mostly just Minecraft, not other things.
What's wrong with that?
That's popular.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, it's just not a slice of life for promoting things. So.
I mean, I'm a bad gamer, I could download that and I do pretty poorly.
I mean, I still have the world where I made a very basic form of the Radisson in Minecraft because I missed you guys during COVID.
Motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Yes.